Yo, what is the deal, everybody? What is the deal? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Salute to everybody that's pulling up on us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Oh, man. Tell you what, haven't had a whole lot of time to go live, but I think it's time to go live now. How you guys been? You know we don't cook unless there's 100 in the room. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Been bad. You will be going and relish to the gulags with your filth and nonsense. There will be no talk of gout. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Great. I didn't even see y'all shit. Did we wear the same shirt? The F is going on here, Graf. Oh, my God. S.A. Big Dog is in the house. Where you been, brother? Oh, my God. CGR is in the place. Become a YouTube member. Everybody, listen. This is more important than ever. And I'm going to tell you why. The members-only content is hot and heavy. It is sick and silly. I'm telling you right now. I have seen the light. I've seen the light, man. On the members-only shows, it allows us the latitude to dive into things that might not be Raider related. Things that you guys are into. Not like this veg head Anthony. But listen, guys. We got to get into some of the things that are going on in Raider Nation right now, right? Like the news has been kind of sparing. A lot of the, it's kind of a lull now, right? Everybody's on break. The Raiders will be back. And when they're back, you know that we will be rocking and rolling. Be rocking and rolling. Now, look, you have a person who is very, 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 very misinformed and been bad. The F is wrong with you, Ben Bad. I would like to know how in the F Graphic Raider would get me a shirt probably less than an hour from Dallas to New Jersey. Get the F up out of here. Hey, listen, and Donald and Stacy, I'm not gonna say what you do at night, but I don't know, man, with this whole Jim Harbaugh thing. I mean, it's Raider related, but it's Raider adjacent, right? Because it's a coach that we coach against. This is not really something that I am going to dive into, right? Maybe on the some of the other things we do on a members only show, we can get into that, right? But let's get into it, guys. You guys saw the thumbnail, right? And this wants to, I want to get into, some of the things that have been going on in the media, some of the things we've been hearing. Now, Maxx Crosby was, talking to the Athletics Tashan Reed at his sack summit. I don't know if you guys have seen, a lot of the premier pass rushers, past and present, pull up to this thing that Maxx Crosby puts on with Von Miller, and it is called the Sack Summit. And what they do is they work on pass rushing moves. They develop the next generation of pass rushers. It to me is such a great opportunity for younger players to be around some of the greats of this game. It helps players that are currently good, guys like Maxx Crosby, guys like Tyree Wilson. This is a perfect opportunity for him to go out there and kind of absorb some of the tricks of the trade, so to speak, from a lot of players like the guys like Von Miller, man, guys like Sean Merriman, a lot of very accomplished guys, right? So, Tashan Reed was out there talking to Maxx Crosby, and this is Crosby's 7th year. He's in there in 4 straight Pro Bowls, 59.5 career sacks. But the one thing that has kind of been an elusive thing for Maxx Crosby is some team success, right? And now this is going into a situation where he's under his 4th full-time head coach. And, the skepticism could be running rampant and wild. But I think that you have a believer in, the program. And that's a good thing for the Raiders, right? Now, Maxx Crosby said, and I quote, "Anytime you go out there, you want to be in a position to win." He said Thursday at the annual Sack Summit. He said individual success and things like that are awesome, but it's not why you play the game. You play to win. We just saw in the NBA, the OKC Thunder just a couple of years ago were one of the worst teams in the league, but they had a lot of young guys. They trusted the process. They developed, and now they're world champions. We're trying to win. I want to win so badly. I put everything into it. I want everyone else to think like that. And that's been my goal, just bringing in as many guys along as I possibly can. Now, look, I know that's thin, right? But when you start looking at this, you got to look at the simple fact that if you got the guy that's at the top of this organization, right, as far as from a player perspective, Maxx Crosby thinking that way and bought in that way, that is something that the Raiders really can hang their hat on, right? Because there are a lot of people that are not really willing, and I don't know if it's a generational thing, but people know all of their options now. People know that they can go on free agency. They can kind of piggyback on a situation where they can jump onto some success and not really have to grind it out and get it in the mud. But the good thing is this, is the fact that if you got Max buying in like that, you know the rest of the organization is. Shout out to some of the guys that are pulling up. We got over 100 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. My guy, Dan Leatherface Tesser, is in a place. Sack Summit, big pause. Look, Dan, you are a master of sacks, man. A master. You yourself are a master of sacks, and I don't know anybody who would be more adept to talk about this than you. I should have you as a guest on my show. Effing bum. The F is wrong with you, Dan. You come up in here with your crap. I've been working hard. I've been having a lot going on in my life, and I come to bring some content for you, and this is the crap I get from you, Dan High Stakes Tesla. What the F is going on with you? I mean, my God, Ben Bad is in the place. The guy Trap God is in the place. He goes, is it true Tyree Wilson was banned from the Big Sack Summit? Trap God, I think that you're trying to get me. I really do. I do not like this crap. I don't like it. I haven't heard about Tyree Wilson being banned. I've heard nothing of the sort, man. Now, listen, maybe Tyree Wilson had other plans. Maybe Tyree Wilson doesn't feel like it'd be something that'll benefit him. I have no idea why he was not there. I'm not gonna. Don't get me to start lying. I'm not gonna pontificate on a bull. But what I will tell you is that is one place that one Tyree Wilson should be. Now, look. There's a lot of there's a lot of excuses this year for guys like Tyree Wilson that are not on the table anymore. Like, nobody wants to hear that you're a rookie. Nobody wants to hear the speed of the game is too fast. Nobody wants to hear any of that. He is going into his third year. He's a top 10 pick. The Raiders have invested a lot in him, and they've also hedged their bet with him. And what I will tell you is this: if the Raiders are to really, really make a real run in a real way, I think Tyree Wilson is the most important part of that. And I know a lot of people will say Geno Smith and all this other stuff, but the Raiders, at their core, they're trying to be a offensive football team, but at their core, they're a defensive ball club. And the one thing that the Raiders should have is a dominant defensive line, because your best players in that positional group. A guy like a Tyree Wilson could take the Raiders defensive line to another level. And if the defensive line, if you have somebody who is even giving you 60% of what Max is giving you on the other side, that is a problem for opposing quarterbacks in the AFC West. Tyree Wilson needs to show up and show out this year. And if he doesn't, he needs to be shipped the hell out. Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Get wasted with your brother, wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And look, Pig says Koontz is the guy to look out for. But if I'm being honest, the Raiders as an organization, it would be better if it were Tyree Wilson, because Tyree Wilson is a guy that you drafted. That's a guy you drafted, and a guy you drafted high. And sometimes, like, when you want to talk about getting rid of the stigma of being a bad drafting football team and being a dumpster fire, it is hitting on draft picks. It's hitting on draft picks. Also, you don't want to see this kid with all of that talent go somewhere else and be productive. This is not what you want to see, yo. This is not what you want to see. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to my guy Space Beast in the place, man. Shout out to my guy Raiders USC. Yo, shout out to my guy Nerd Nash. Nerd Nash in the place. Yo, shout out to my guy Nerd Nash, man. Salute, man. I mean, we got a veritable star in here, man. My guy Nerd Nash, man. Salute what it is, bro. Brother, I ain't even know you even got down with the Raider content. I appreciate the support, my brother. Shout out to my guy Nerd, man. One of the premier voices on Twitter when it comes to, hip hop and culture at large, man. Yo, listen, Demokes, Demokes, let me tell you something, bro. You have a blocking coming, bro. You gotta chill, yo. And that's right, Dre the Great. The Wasted and Grab pod is coming soon, bro. It is coming soon, bro. I to be honest with you, lately it's really been it's been me. Like, I haven't had the time, bro. I mean, kid graduated from high school, had a lot going on with that. A lot with work too, man. Haven't been home like that. Haven't really had the time, man. But I'll tell you, I like this, man. Yo, we are definitely gonna be rocking and rolling this week, man. Everything's starting to pick up. We will be in here. Yo, my guy, Bodega Wasted is in the place, man. The cheap imitation of the great wasted talent himself is in the place. Just dropping by to let you know this show sucks already in 10 minutes. Bodega Wasted, thank you, bro. Appreciate you effing bum. You love this effing show. You love it. Cheap imitation. Oh, my God, man. Yo, my guy, Family Football, Raiders for Nation for Life. What kind of numbers did Tyree Wilson need to put up in order to remove the target off of him? And what numbers change if he plays defensive tackle, not defensive end? See, this is the problem, right? When you talk about him switching positions, right, I think that metric is based off of what formation you're in. And I don't necessarily know he should be a full-time defensive tackle, but I think the number for Tyree Wilson will probably be around 40 to 50 tackles, couple tackles for loss, and probably about, if you talk about from a sack perspective, for me, I would like to see him get 8 to 9 sacks. If he gets in 10 or 11, that makes him a upper crust top tier guy. But 8 to 9 would be something that would be sufficient for me. You know what I mean? So when you start talking about, NFL sack leaders, by individual in 2024, right? Let's go into that. I love the way this conversation is going, man. I love where this conversation is going. Now, Trey Henderson led the league in sacks with 17 and a half sacks, right? And you also have Myles Garrett with 17 and a half sacks. I think Myles Garrett had 14 sacks. You had Nick Bonito, the Denver Broncos, finished with 13 and a half sacks, right? So the thing is, for me, if you get 8 to 9 sacks, bro, that kind of puts you in a situation where you're a good player. You've established yourself in a sense, right? Because you had Trey Henderson with 17 and a half, Myles Garrett with 14, Nick Bonito with 13 and a half, Kyle Van Noy with 12 and a half. Shout out to Kyle Van Noy. That's just a veteran player that just goes out there and produces every time. I got Danielle Hunter with 12. Jonathan Greenyard with 12. Micah Parsons with 12. TJ Watt with 11. Leonard Williams with 11. So 9 sacks put you in the Zadarius Smith, Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker had 10 and a half. Will Anderson. That puts you in pretty rarefied air, right? Pretty rarefied air. I mean, that's where I would like to see our guy wind up. Yo, my guy, R. Rainstraw. I'll be happy if Tyree gives us 7 sacks. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like that is for me, right? That for me is a great metric for a young guy that's emerging. But to me, it's more so about him setting the edge, him being a good tackler, right? Him not getting dominated, and him being really, really good against the run, man. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at with it too. Alec in with his crap gout gang. There's no such thing. What the F is wrong with you guys? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yo, you guys pay them bar tabs. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Share this thing out to all social media. And yo, everybody that is in here, make sure you go over to my second channel. I have a second channel. It is called Sports Wasted. I'm going to change the channel name. But there's some dope things that are coming along. Stay tuned. Go over there, hit that subscribe. Cost you nothing. So, guys, look. Let's get into, the Colton Miller situation, right? Now, a lot of people talk about it. People are talking about who the Raiders need to sign, who they're going to sign, what they're going to do. And we spoke about this a couple episodes ago, right? But the Raiders are in a situation now where they have the cap space. I think that now we're in a situation where we're building towards something greater. And I think one of the reasons why you have a situation where with a guy like a Maxx Crosby, right? With a guy like Ashton Jeanty, Ashton Jeanty has a great deal for running backs. Like people talk about, him being a rookie and being on a rookie contract, but him making $8 million guaranteed is a lot more than some of the upper crust running backs in the league are making, right? So that's a situation where, unless he goes completely bonkers from a production perspective, I think Jeanty's going to be locked up for the foreseeable future. So now you have a situation where Geno's locked up for the foreseeable future. Most of the guys on this team are taken care of, right? And we got cap space. I think that the Raiders would probably be smart to get the Colton Miller situation taken care of. Yo, my God, Johnny Solari's in the place. Like, and look, Richard Snyder says that Meyer needs to be signed too. Now, this is the thing that we need to kind of look into, right? Because I wanted to talk about this. There was a ESPN report, moving on, that some people think that the Raiders should try to make a move with Terry McLaurin. Now, I don't know. I want to ask you guys something, man. What do you guys think about Terry McLaurin? Like, I have a short about it I'm going to put up after the show, giving you some of my thoughts on Terry McLaurin deal to the Raiders. But what does that look like to you guys? I mean, the one good thing about Terry McLaurin, now the Raiders haven't been as successful with big-time wide receivers when we go out there in the free agent market. The thing with a Terry McLaurin for me is that it really hasn't mattered much who's throwing him the football. It really hasn't mattered much. Like, so when you start talking about Terry McLaurin, would you rather pay Jacoby, or would you rather go out there and go take a swing on a guy like Scary Terry, man? I mean, personally, job one is to sign a left tackle. That's me, right? Now, when you got a guy like Terry McLaurin, he'd be leaving Jalen Daniels. I don't necessarily know if he would want to do that, but I think it's more so about the money. I don't really think he really cares. But we already have a guy right here in Jacoby Myers that's done a great job by the Raiders, right? He's not a diva. He's a guy that I think would benefit it would benefit you to sign a guy like that, because you got two guys on the roster that could become number one receivers. I don't think Jacoby Myers' ego is that of which a guy that wouldn't be able to handle one of those guys emerging as a number one receiver. I mean, look, and the Commanders do love Terry McLaurin as well, but you got to understand something. They went out there and made a move for Deebo Samuels, and they're paying him a whole hell of a lot of money. And Terry McLaurin has been there with them in the trenches, and he wants his money too. So you got to look at what a Terry McLaurin deal will look like, right? The top wide receivers contracts in this league are massive. They're massive, man. I think it's Justin Jefferson and a couple of guys are right on up there, man. As far as contractual value, man, I know it's Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are right on up there, man. Those guys are making a boatload of money. But let me go pull everybody's contracts. I'm show you guys what the F's going on here with the contracts, man. Shout out to everybody in the room. Get wasted with your brother wasted. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Guys, wait, let me show you guys what I got here. And listen, this show is gonna be slow motion today, guys. Slow motion. It's not a whole lot of Raider news. It's just time for us to get back on and get back rocking and rolling here, right? So listen, right here, you got the top 5 receiver contracts right now. Jamar Chase with average contract value of $40 million. Justin Jefferson, $35 million. CeeDee Lamb at third, $34. DK Metcalf, 33. AJ Brown, 32. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 30 million. And number 7, Brandon Ayuk. And this is a guy that's always crying all the time, too, which is insane. Brandon Ayuk, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins at 9, 28 million. Jalen Waddell. Damn, you got teammates making that much. So then when you start going down into Terry McLaurin's kind of, realm, Terry McLaurin is in a situation where he's at 22 million a year, right? That's Devontae Adams territory. I can name, more than half of this list of the guys that Terry McLaurin is better than. So I think if you sign to Terry McLaurin, you will probably be looking at him getting in the $33 million club. A little bit over. A little bit over. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. Is this something that you as Raider fans are willing to get into? Listen, and Harry's pause said he'd rather pay $20 million a year to Jacoby. And to be honest with you, I can't be mad at that kind of ideology, right? So look, we got to look at Jacoby Myers versus Terry McLaurin. I'm telling you right now, let's look into their numbers, right? Let's look at their numbers, yo. Shout out to Fantasy Pros PPR. Let me stop the screen here. We're gonna share this little mock-up of these two guys. Boom. Former Ohio State guy, right? So if you look at it, last year, Jacoby Myers bested him in receptions, had more targets, 1,096 yards, 1,027 yards, 13.4 yards of reception, 11.8. But, you got to realize one had Jaden Daniels thrown to him. The other one had Aiden O'Connell thrown to him. And that makes a hell of a lot of difference. Touchdowns. See, this is where and why Terry McLaurin is the number one guy. 13 touchdowns as opposed to 4. 17 games to 15 games. It's just Terry McLaurin is a guy that is, on paper, he's a superior wide receiver. But I think for the money, right, you can address a couple of different parts of this football team with the money you'd be saving by bringing Jacoby back. And also, you won't have to deal with, and I'm not saying Terry McLaurin is an egomaniac, but this is a new personality you're bringing into the fold already. You already know what you're dealing with Jacoby. Jacoby's one of the most humble, borderline superstars in the league, man. I'm gonna agree with you guys. I'm gonna agree with you guys. If I'm the Raiders, I'm paying Jacoby Myers like your life depended on. My guy, God Family Football. If the Raiders trade for Scary Terry, I think Jacoby will have to be included in that trade. And I'm truthfully not mad about that. The question is, how much more will Washington want for Terry? And see, that's the problem. Not only do you got to pay Terry, but you have to give up a player and draft capital to bring him in. I'm kind of cool on Jacoby Myers. I'm kind of cool on Jacoby Myers, man. I'm keeping him home. I am keeping him home, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Get wasted. Get your brother wasted. Oh, my God. Yeah, and the drop ratio is insane, too. The guy didn't drop a ball last year. Shout out to the over 200 in the room. Wasted with your brother wasted. Pigs, pig. Come on, Pigs, pig. You put this crap out there again. I don't like signing free agent wide outs unless it's still. Look, I don't really think the Raiders have to sign a free agent, bro. They went out there. They addressed the wide receiver in a draft in a real way. I think they should probably leave well enough alone and let these guys develop unless there's a situation where these guys are looking like they're not going to wind up being the kind of player that the Raiders might be able to use in the future. I mean, at the end of the day, the most important need for the Raiders is making sure that line is showed up in the cornerback room. And I have some thoughts about that, man. I mean, the Raiders could have gone out there and they could have brought in a multitude of guys already. You have people who would sit here and say that, there's an issue at corner. There's an issue at corner. But everybody can say that. But I've watched Pete Carroll run with rookie corners several times. He did it with Reek Woolen. He did it with Sherm. He did it with Sherm. You know, I think because defensive back is the specialty of Pete Carroll, I'm gonna trust in Pete. I'm gonna trust in Pete. I'm gonna trust in him, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think wide receiver is a major need for the Raiders at this point. Shout out to my guy, classic man Q. I'd rather try to get Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen than pay Scary Terry $30 million. And I'm a Scary Terry guy. And I like Terry McLaurin, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, Keenan Allen, I'm kind of cool on. And Amari, low stakes Cooper, I'm definitely cool on. I'm cool on him, bro. Like, just develop Besh, develop Thornton, develop Trey Tucker. Like, develop the young guys, man. Develop the young guys. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Shout out to my guy Kenny Clark, yo. Raider USC. Betch and Thornton have huge upside. Sign Jacoby back with Bowers. This could be a solid receiver room. I think we're good, man. I think the Raiders need to kind of take and make that investment that they made into the wide receiver room and the offense this year, and just really take that and kind of really try to beef up the secondary and the offensive line some more. You know, and when they say they don't block, listen, been bad. I get where you coming from, right? But when you get guys coming into the league, right? And I think Besh is a physical kid, right? When you get guys coming into the league with a guy like Jacoby Myers being their OG, they will learn how to block. If Jacoby Myers doesn't do anything else, he does know how to block. He's a damn good blocking wide receiver, man. Richard Snyder. Bowers got more touches last year, and the ball should have been spread out more. I mean, look, you got to understand something. You got a porous offensive line at certain points in the year, and you got a situation where you have a guy like Aiden O'Connell who's just trying not to make mistakes. Once he sees you open or it's a throw he know he can make, he's going to make that throw. That's clear. And I think that's one of the big reasons why Brock Bowers' emergence was not really a big surprise. Like, he was definitely a safety blanket for Aiden O'Connell last year. But you need those strong, silent type of players on your roster. You don't always need these prima donnas, man, especially in that wide receiver room. My guy, God Family Football. Why did the Raiders not sign Shaq Griffin? He's reliable vet. He only resigned with Seattle for a 1-year deal. The thing is this, right? He played under Pete, right? He played under Pete. Pete kind of knows what he's dealing with there. I think Pete wasn't. If Pete's not pounding the table, I think they didn't sign Griffin because they probably feel like they have better in the building. They probably feel like they have better in the building. Like, the thing is, they must believe in these guys, man. They must believe in these guys, because I'm going to tell you something. If they didn't, there's been a few options out there. There's a few options out there. A few options, man. And we're going to get into that. Guys like Stephon Gilmore, Mike Hilton, the guys are still out there. You know, the Raiders really weren't in on Jalen Ramsey. Jai Alexander's already going. I mean, but the Raiders, they really was like looking to improve that room, and they weren't like comfortable with what they had in the building. I think you would have already seen that already. You saw how the Raiders were not willing to wait around when it came to Geno Smith, how they were willing to go out there and be proactive to address the quarterback position. Every wide receiver that makes the team had played slot. Now, that's a fact. That is a fact. That's a stone cold lead pipe fact, man. And Kenny Clark, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And who's to say he doesn't have a breakout year? Either which way, you kind of got to see this thing through and see what they got. Talking running back, who's the odd man out? Labe? I mean, we'd have to see. I don't want to put that indictment on anybody, right? But I think that when you start talking about, you know, Genty, we start talking about Raheem Mostert, those two guys are like, they're going to be penciled in. Now, if you're gonna operate under the illusion that the Raiders are gonna take 3 running backs, right, or maybe 4, there's a very, very good chance that Dylan Library could be the odd man out. It all depends on how well Zeus plays. Sincere McCormick, how many touches does he get? See, a lot of times when you got guys like Gentian being a young rook, he's gonna take most of the snaps. So how do you carve out a role for yourself? It's a hard thing to do. It is a hard thing to do. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Get waste what your brother wasted, man. Wait, hold on. I forgot about this one. God Family Football. If only our Raiders wait one more big upgrade at specific position, what room and why? I.e. Simmons, safety room. It's got to be the corner room, bro. It's got to be the corner room. Hey, Bodega wasted, man. Look, since you just came back from the bathroom, I want to send your punk ass to the gulags. Get the F up out of here. Talking crap about my effing show. You let that be a lesson to you. Get unceremoniously blocked up in here. You be disrespectful, you effing bum. Pick giving the content of your effing life. Effing bum up in here. Bang Zoom. Up, get the F up out of here with his crap. 5 minutes. Gulag time for you, pal. Effing bum. That's right, Frankie. He's walking the plank right now. With his crap. Can you believe this guy? Can you believe this guy, man? Can you believe this effing bum? So, guys, let me ask you guys a quick question, right? What do you guys think about, Big Tonka Hemingway, man? I mean, look, I think this is another sleeper. Another sleeper. I'm telling you right now. Tonka Hemingway is going to be one of these guys that's going to have to pick up the slack with Christian Wilkins being out. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I love the fact, during the draft, we had Shador fever on the brain, right? But now I see why they doubled up on defensive tackle. Because they weren't sure about Christian Wilkins. And I think that the 2 young men that the Raiders brought in are going to fit perfect with this line. I think you're going to get production early from both of them. Both of them. Yo, Schneider, what you mean? I got one. I just never posted. I probably should, right? My guy Pigs Pig. He's an all-around football player, high upside. Yeah, Tonka Hemingway. I like Tonka, man. I like Tonka, man. Like Tonka Hemingway, man, was very, very productive in college. Very productive in college, man. And I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised. I mean, this is a guy that played at, South Carolina, 6'3" defensive tackle. He was 3rd team All SEC. Won the Ray Tanner Award. Man, smart kid. Won an academic honor roll. I mean, GPA award. Got the toughness award for the defense. All second team, all SEC, College Football Network. I mean, the guy is a decorated football player. Defensive lineman. He appeared in 61 games over the past 5 seasons. You know what I mean? And that's the most games in school history. This is another guy kind of going back to what Spytek and Pete Carroll look for. Guys who played a lot of snaps. Look, it's not necessarily age. It's miles. It's how many snaps have you taken? How much do you know your craft? Like practice makes perfect, right? So when you start talking about guys like Tonka Hemingway, you start talking about young guys like this and him being a senior, 5-year starter, not 5-year starter, but a 5-year player. The guy balled out, man. in his 5th year, man. He played in all 13 games. He made 11 starts. Was in an SEC third team, like I said before. He had 25 tackles, 4 sacks for loss. The guy was a beast, man. He had 6 quarterback hurries, 2 fumble recoveries, pass breakup, forced fumble, tied for 4th in the SEC in fumble recovery. He earned all SEC co-defensive lineman of the week awards. I mean, look, let me tell you something. The kid had a banner career in college. He balled out. And I think that when you start looking at some of the guys that are on his roster, they went heavy with guys who played a lot of snaps in college. Heavy. Shout out to my guy, RNJ Podcast. What is the effing deal, yo? Yeah, and Matt, I think Tonka Truck really will be Walker's, replacement until he comes back. I mean, listen, if you got a Christian Wilkins on your roster, there's nothing but right with it. But he has to be healthy and he has to affect the game in a positive way, right? And healing up, I know he's going through it. I know the team's going through it because when you saw the Raiders sign Christian Wilkins, this was something that we were all excited about, getting one of the best players in the league. And we looked at that like that position is not a position of need for the foreseeable future. And now we have to renege on that. And Bodega wasted. Listen, he doesn't like the show, guys. He does not like the show. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. Bodega wasted. Listen, man. I think what you need to do, and I'm being real. I'm being real. I'm being real. I think it's time to put you back in the gulags. Let's see how much you like the show then. Effing bum. Get F up out of here with your crap. Don't you ever disrespect. Yeah, another 5 minutes. The disrespect is effing real up in here. You get the F up out of here, Bodega. My guy Mike Downs with the $5 holler, man. Wasted, I'm back. I work days now and not nights. The most thing I'm looking forward to this season is the system. The system. And listen, bro, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm looking forward to coherent coaching, coherent decisions on the sideline, things that make sense from a football perspective. These are things that have been missing for a while. I'm looking for competent quarterback play. Shout out to my guy Mike Downs with the first super of the day. Shout out to my guy, man. Damn right. JJ Pegues was named to the 2024 All-SEC third team. He has an upside as well. Yeah, JJ Pegues has more than upside. I mean, on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. I mean, can you imagine if the Raiders used Pegues in the same way that they used him in college? On a goal line, where you got a guy that can get low, that can carry the ball and not fumble the ball in the league, that can punch it in from 3 yards out almost every time. I mean, that's huge, man. That's huge. That is huge, man. So, guys, I mean, I'm seeing something in the chat. I do not know whether it is true or not. I don't know if it's true. Q, is that true, bro? Is that true? Q, is that true, bro? I don't see that anywhere. Yo, Mrs. Davis passed away? Oh, no. Oh, no. You guys, wait, hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me listen. I know some dead air here, but hold on here, guys. Let me go look, man. Got to get that from a reputable source, man. I don't want to be, reporting that I didn't see anything on that, you know. I mean, where are you guys hearing that Carol Davis passed away? Where are you guys hearing that? The Raiders Twitter posted it? No way, man. No way, man. Oh, that's terrible, man. Man, I'm sorry about that, guys. I just gotta look. I gotta make sure that that's accurate. No, wait. It says that no, not this. What are you guys talking about? It says Mary Davis. The silver and black are saddened by the recent passing of Mary Davis, wife of former Raider two-time Super Bowl champion Mike Davis, a long treasured part of the Raiders family. Successful businesswoman. No, I didn't see anything about Carol Davis passing away, bro. I think you guys got that wrong there, guys. You guys got that wrong. That's not Carol Davis. That's Mike Davis's wife, Mary Davis, not Carol Davis. This is the reason why Wasted does not just go on here spewing filth. Carol Davis is still with us. You were wrong, Classic Man Q. You will go to the gulags for 3 minutes with your crap. Putting Carol Davis in the grave. What the F is wrong with you, Classic Man Q? You better make sure you damn well have all your information right when you put this in my chat, Classic Man Q. What the F is wrong with you? Classic Man Q, listen, look, Q, you know I love you, man. You're going to the gulags. It's enough. Classic Man Q is in the gulags, 5 minutes, not restricted to. Shout out to my brother Mike Downs with the 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships. Thank you, brother, for making the Wasted Talent Army grow in droves. Oh, my God. My guy Mike Downs, man. My guy Raider USC also gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses. You're making the Wasted Talent Army grow in droves. We will be doing a member zone show in the next 2 days. And what I need you guys to do, if you guys got a membership from one of these 2 gentlemen, yo, pay it forward. Say thank you to these guys, man, for getting you guys with the hottest membership in Raider YouTube. Your Classic Man Q is a non-reputable source. The F is wrong with you. See, I have been able to comment. I would have told you the correct news. Well, no, you get the F up out of here, Bodega Wasted. Next time you say anything else, you will be blocked. It's enough of your crap. The effing Classic Man Q. Yeah, yo, Anthony, you will never. Yo, you know why we do members only shows? Just so Anthony can't participate. We need a gray dot members. No, listen, it's to get off my lawn game. There's no such thing as gray dot. It's a graph's crap. Guys, up. Raider Nation Unlimited. Act like you effing know. So, guys, let's get back into this crap. My OGDA is in a place, man. What's good, brother? Oh, my God. OGDA. Yo, dog, I meant to hit him back, too, bro. Yo, I'll tell you guys, I haven't been able to get on the channel. I haven't been able to do anything, bro. I've been busy as hell lately, man. Yo, my guy, Raider Vince 92. What's good, Wasted? How would you feel about Von Miller if the price is right? You know what's funny? Von Miller as a 3rd or 4th pass rusher, I'd have no problem with it. I mean, it would have to be a situation where Von Miller, you know, so what price is right for you, right? So let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about salaries here. This is the kind of stuff that I love to get into, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. But yo, let's get into contracts, man. We're gonna get edge rushers, right? Now, I don't think these numbers over here on I'm gonna go on Spot Track, man. You know, Spot Track has been so much better, man. It's unbelievable, man. So let's go defensive end, right? Now, Myles Garrett, average contract is $40 million. Danielle Hunter's at $35 million. Maxx Crosby's at $35 million. Nick Bosa's at $34 million. Brian Burns is at $28 million. Milton Williams is at $26 million. Montez Sweat is at $24 million. Trey Hendrickson. So look, we're going to go beyond that, right? So if you're talking about a third pass rusher, right? Malcolm Kuntz is making $11 million this year. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to stop this one. Let me share it. Let's workshop this as a group, right? So when you start talking about how much you would sign a Von Miller for, now Von Miller hasn't been, you know, the best the last few years. He's long in the tooth. Father Time is undefeated, right? So when you start talking about Malcolm Kuntz making $11 million, right? You probably want to scroll down a little bit lower, right? Cam Jordan is making $6 million. Now, you would probably want to be around the Calais Campbell, Dante Fowler, AJ Espinoza, Cam Jordan kind of neighborhood. $6-7 million. If you can get Von Miller for $6-7 million, maybe even less than that, right? I'd be all in for it. Because what you got to look at is, you know, Von Miller's production over the last few years, man. You got to look at his production over the last few years, man. I'm telling you right now, you got to look at Von Miller's production and his stats. Sorry, guys. Let's pull up Von Miller's stats for the last few years. Let's see how productive he's been, and let's look at how many games he's missed over the last few years. I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't been keeping up with Von Miller as vehemently as I used to because he, you know, when he went to Buffalo, he really wasn't our problem at that point, right? So in 2024, you know, Von Miller played 13 games. He had 15 tackles, 11 solo, 4 assists. He had 6 sacks. That's crazy. That man had 6 sacks last year, yo. And we dreaming for Tyree Wilson to get 7. Von Miller had 6 sacks last year, bro. Insane, bro. Insane. Yo, my guy J&K is a new member of the Wasted Talent Army. Salute. At ease, soldier. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. But Von Miller. Oh, yeah, and I want to put this disclaimer out there. All new members are subject to gulaggery. You don't watch your effing mouth. But look, Von Miller for $5.5 million to $6 million, third or fourth pass rusher, I'm with it. I am with it. Because the thing with Von Miller is he is one of them guys that can just, you know, just off of just sure knowledge can get you a few sacks when you need one. He could be a drive killer. He's not a guy that you would necessarily have to depend on. Look, I'd be with bringing in Von Miller. Now, people are talking about, you know, some of his, you know, off the field stuff. Did Von Miller have a domestic violence charge? Did he? 2023. Let's read this, man. No charges filed. No charges have been filed on Von Miller. They consider he allegedly assaulted his pregnant girlfriend. After the case being closed, the Buffalo Bills edge rusher, where no charge will filed and the case will be closed, I'm able to just move forward. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to say he did or didn't do it because I don't know enough about this, right? But at the end of the day, right, just from a football perspective, that's the kind of vet that if you bring in for like, and every time I think about it, it gets lower and lower and lower. You bring it for $4 million or something like that. To me, it's nothing but right. CGR, don't you ever do it. And to be honest with you, having a Von Miller in your locker room could only help your young pass rushers. I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, and that's the same thing. Yo, my guy Raider Vince is right. He is an AFC West representative, right? He is a guy who is familiar with Sherbert and Kermit. Sherbert and Kermit. And these are the two guys that you got. Listen, man, if you cut the head off, the body falls. This is what you need. This is what you need, man. Now, we got to say allegedly, Alec, him. They said he beat up his pregnant girlfriend. That is allegedly. That is allegedly. You know, you can't always take everything in the media you hear at face value unless you have proof. I am not just going to put that out there. But just Raiders, baby. Yes, I'm not mad at that either. I am not mad at that either. Shout out to everybody that's on Twitter. Shout out to everybody that is on YouTube. Yo, get wasted with your brother Wasted. And I'm going to be honest with you. Just like Bodega Wasted said, this show allegedly sucks. Thank you, Bodega Wasted, for all your crap and your filth. What the F is wrong with you? Come up in here disrespecting my damn show after I've been giving you content after content for almost an hour? God! Wow! What is wrong with you? I mean, it's unbelievable, man. This guy, man, has a lot of effing nerve. A lot of effing nerve. Do you think you can do better, you effing bum? Do you?
It's a tutorial that says you know what the fuck you doing.
But I mean, again. What the F is wrong with you? I mean, golly. It's a bunch of crap. Effing bum. Jack Yates is out of here. He says, have a good one. Jack Yates, yes, I know, man. I'm almost out of here too, bro. Appreciate you. Now, Classic Man Q, back from the gulags. Fresh out of the joint into the halfway house. I read that too fast and thought it was Carol Davis. I apologize, chat. And you let that be a freaking lesson to you. You let that be a lesson to you. And Jenny Castillo, Jenny Castillo, look, man. Listen, if that's Jenny Castillo, she's going to be blocked as soon as she comes back. She's going to be blocked as soon as she comes back. But look, guys, I'm going to be real. Let's get into the last thing, and we're going to get out of here, man. Do you guys think that the Raiders are going to make a move in the secondary? Do you guys think the Raiders are going to make a move in the secondary? I'm going to be 100% real with you. Pete Carroll, like I said before, has always been a guy that's going for the youth move. He's the guy who got our guy, Tariq Woolen going. He's a guy that got, some of the best young cornerback and a group of some of the best young cornerbacks going a long, long time ago. This is what he does, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that the Raiders are going to go out there and go and sign a veteran corner. I think if they were, they probably would have, right? But if they were going to do that, right, Jalen Ramsey is, the guy, right? You would think Jalen Ramsey. But if you look at what the Raiders are doing and the trajectory that the rest of the roster is on, I don't think a Jalen Ramsey move is the best thing for this particular team, right? I don't think we're at the point where we need to go out there and swing big on free agent moves and trades. I think the Raiders are in a situation where they need to continue to build and develop the talent, build the foundation of a winner here. Win a foundation of a winner. Go up there, make sure you got some winning football happening first, right? And then you go out there and if you were to do something like that, you might want to go out there and sign a Stephon Gilmore. Now, Stephon Gilmore is just as accomplished, if not more accomplished than Jalen Ramsey. It's just that Stephon Gilmore is a guy who is a little older, right? Like Stephon Gilmore is up there. And you got to look at something, right? When you start looking at what that contract would look like, what that contract would look like. Now, let me see what Stephon Gilmore's contract, because he, it's funny, man. I always thought that the Raiders were going to bring Stephon Gilmore in probably about 2 to 3 years ago. but they didn't, right? And it's the same thing with Steph. It seems like Stephon Gilmore and Jalen Ramsey are kind of on the same like path most of the time, right? The contract path, they're both out there. You know, they've been available around the same times. Now, he has a 1-year contract with now wait a minute. Has Stephon Gilmore has he been? No, he wasn't. Last year he was on the Minnesota Vikings, right? So he had a 1-year contract, $7 million salary, right? So basically, you know, just by value and years, to me, that goes down, right? So if you can go out there and get a Stephon Gilmore for $6.5 million, $5 million, I say, why not? Do I see the Raiders doing that? No, I think Pete's going to roll with the guys he has in the building. Bodega Waster. I plead the fifth to any guesses made on a great and powerful Bodega Waster. You get the F up out of here with your crap. But look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, the Jalen Ramsey situation for the Raiders is too costly, right? Because now not only do you got to take on his contract, right? Then you might have to give him another contract and you have to part with draft capital. To me, that's the double whammy for a guy that, you know, hasn't, you know, he's missed a few games in the last few years, right? And the thing is that what we're building here is you need to leave yourself financially solvent and viable to sign your young players. And when the Raiders do get in a position where they're a winning football team and is that one more move that they got to make to kind of get to the next level, you want to make sure that they're financially able to do that. I'm telling you right now. So to me, if you're gonna go out there and bring in a veteran corner to this room, Stephon Gilmore is the guy right now. You got to look at it from this. Now, Stephon Gilmore had some of his best years. And you know, I'm going to go back to some of his numbers, right? We're going to go back to some of Stephon Gilmore's numbers, right? I think Stephon Gilmore could thrive in his defense, right? Stephon Gilmore can thrive in his defense, man. I'm going to pull up some of his stats, man. I'm going to pull up some of his stats. Hold on, guys. You hold on with the old man. This is a fluid show. This is a fluid show, damn it. A fluid show. Now, look, you got to look at it like this. When Gus Bradley was with the Raiders, right, I thought that they would have brought in Stephon Gilmore, right? But Stephon Gilmore and Gus Bradley kind of united over there with the Indianapolis Colts, right? And, you know, Stephon Gilmore did not do bad. He did not do bad with the Colts, man. He had 2 picks, 66 tackles, played pretty decent. Panthers, played well with the Panthers, 2 interceptions. You know, I mean, Stephon Gilmore has never been a guy who's had a whole bunch of interceptions, right? You know, with the Patriots, he has 6, right? But the thing with Stephon Gilmore that you got to look at is the tackles and a lot of, you know, pass breakups. But that's the perfect guy that you bring in with a young cornerback room. Yo, and guys, you know, today's show has been kind of slow motion today, man. It's not a whole lot of people in here, man. This is an intimate setting. I appreciate you guys. You know, we normally have a lot more people in here than this. A lot more people. This is a sunny Sunday. I appreciate you guys for pulling up, man. But like Kenny Clark said, Miami doesn't want to do any deals on Jalen Ramsey contract. So F him. And Stephon Gilmore, I have no idea. Stephon Gilmore, it would be next to nothing. Look, the only way I'm taking, you know, Jalen Ramsey is if Miami pays the freight for most of it. I'm going to be real with you. This is a guy that, you know, says he wants to be in the West Coast. Let him go where he needs to go. I think you're going to start seeing a decline in Jalen Ramsey because he's starting to get a little longer in the tooth. He might have to make that decision of whether he might wants to go to safety, right? I am not under the estimation of me wanting a guy like a Jalen Ramsey, paying him a whole bunch of money, him having one good year, and then us being stuck on an albatross of a contract. That's just not something that I'm going to deal with, bro. My guy Halo's in a place. Salute, my brother. Yo, Halo, you got to hit me up, bro. You been, bro? That's right. It's been an amazing show, man. Mike Downs is in a place, man. Bodega Wasted. One thing me and Wasted agree on is that Caleb Rogers will win the right guard spot. He's a major, agile beast. Listen, we got to see how it is, right? I think Caleb Rogers shows a lot of talent, shows a lot of promise. I love, how athletic the kid is. The kid's a monster. Kid's a monster. The thing is look, man, it's all good for us to pontificate, to guess, but at the end of the day, it don't mean a hill of beans until you see these guys in their pads. And that's the thing that we're all waiting on. That's why it's been kind of slow motion with the content. It's been slow motion with everything. And I think things are going to ramp up. And when they do, we're going to be right here for you, rocking and effing rolling. Now, a lot of people want Simmons. I like Simmons, right? But the thing is, I just wonder why Justice Simmons is out there. My guy, Antonio Avila, right? Wasted, what's good? Let's sign Hilton and Justice Simmons to shore up our defense. I don't think you need to sign both of them, right? Because you got to look at it like this. Like for us, we're acting like the Raiders didn't go out there and address those rooms in free agency. The Raiders went out there and signed Jeremy Chin. They went and signed Stokes. They signed Lonnie Johnson. They weren't exactly who we wanted, right? But they were players that, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think Eric Stokes is a sleeper this year. Eric Stokes, bro, is going to ball for us, bro. This is a guy that really probably would be thought about a lot fonder if he wasn't as injury prone. The guy has been a little injury prone. But listen, Eric Stokes is a beast, man. I think Eric Stokes is going to play well for the Raiders. I really do, man. Big, rangy corner, right up Pete Carroll's alley. He redshirted his first year at Georgia. He played 13 or 14 games, and in 2018, when he was a sophomore in college, he balled ever since. Then it's a Georgia Bulldog, played well in Green Bay. Played well in Green Bay, man. 2021, he played 16 games. He started 14, had 55 tackles, 1 interception as a rookie, 14 passes defense. 2022, not so great, 9 games, 21, 26 tackles, 5 assists, no passes defense. 2023, did not play a whole lot. He only played 3 games, started 2. So Eric Stokes is a guy that's kind of really, really been out, and he's been injured. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a guy that I think can make a grave improvement under the coaching and tutelage of Pete Carroll. Wait, yes, strikes. Oh, Stokes might win cornerback number 1. It's him and Porter. It could be. And Pete Carroll has started rookie corners throughout his career as a coach. So it wouldn't surprise me if Darian Porter got a starting job. My guy, Maurice Gomez. No to tear. We have speedsters and Thornton and Tucker and K. Allen on the cheap. Trade for Ramsey, acquire Simmons. Guys, see, this is the thing, bro. We got to kind of get out of the mode as fans of trying to play Madden franchise mode. You got to look at the numbers. You got to look at how these guys fit. You got to look at the coaching. You have to look at the scheme. And you also have to look at the salaries, too. The salaries are a real thing, right? And then you got to look at the age, the mileage. Is the guy injury prone or not? Like with Stokes, it's not like the Raiders are paying him a big freight. So if he's hurt with us, guess what? You got DCAM, you got some of these young guys you could develop. And then at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? But going out there and just signing guys because they were good other places is kind of a recipe for disaster. And the fact that Justice Simmons is still out there, and I'm not saying he's not going to play well somewhere else, it just, I'm under the estimation of I want to see how good Isaiah Powell plays. I want to see how Porter plays. I want to see how Jacorian Bennett develops. I want to see how DCAM develops. Like, I really want to see how these guys develop. See, a part of being a great football team is drafting well and allowing these young guys the latitude, the space to get better. Trey Taylor's another guy. We don't know if he's going to make the team, but Trey Taylor's another young, talented guy. we have to be patient, and we have to kind of subscribe to the fact that the Raiders know what they're doing, right? We have to subscribe to the fact that John Spytek and Pete Carroll know what they're doing. Right now, that's something that's been kind of hard to do in the past, right? That's been something that a lot of us have had problems with. If you've been a Raider fan a long time, we've had flotsam and jetsam at coach. And I think that one of the good things that happened this offseason is the fact that the Raiders, initially, and there were reports that John Spytek really wanted to bring Liam Cohen with him. And there were rumors about that, and I heard that. And Liam Cohen said, no, I'm going to go back, and we're going to run it back with Tampa Bay. And then he reneged, and then it was this weird situation where he went to Jacksonville. And guess what? Good for him. But I love the fact that we have a steady hand running the organization at coach. I love the fact that we have a freaking coach that can trade wits with these older coaches in the AFC West. I love it, man, because this is a master class in the AFC West as far as coaches go. Everybody talks about winning a Super Bowl. You win a Super Bowl by 80% of the players that you have on your roster that are competing and starting are being guys that you drafted on their first contract. If we don't make another move in free agency, and Dan Leatherface Teether definitely echoes my sentiment. We won't make another move free agency. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it too, man. Everybody says Thomas Harper too. I like Thomas Harper, right? But he's not a guy that I have red circled to be, one of our better players. I mean, the good thing is, like my guy Just Raiders Baby said, we know we got Pete for 3 years, maybe 4. They ain't letting him go with Brady and the new ownership here. And and this is the thing, right? I don't want to make too much of Pete Carroll and Brady, but it's hard not to. Because if you show me a winning football team, I'll show you football people who understand the mission. This is what, so look, guys, be patient, stand pat. The news is sick and silly. We're going to be having our feelers out there listening to what's going on, especially when training camp goes on. If any moves are made, we're going to be with you guys. Look, I wanted to ask you guys, if you're in here, go over to Sports Wasted. The channel will be changing within a week. I got some things I'm executing over there. If you guys are into more coverage, not just the Raiders, but of other sports and things like that, go over to Sports Wasted. Start another channel. I want you guys to hit that subscribe button. We want to make sure that thing gets in the algorithm. I appreciate you guys. But guys, I think it's time for us to pull a train into the train tracks. We'll be back at you tomorrow. It's the end of the month. We got to get back at you tomorrow because look, man, I got to get revved up for the season. Guys, do me a favor. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see more of. Do you guys want to see some more pre-recorded content? Do you want to see more members only shows? You guys let me know. But you guys, I want you guys to stay safe. If there's any collaborations you want to see with me, you guys let me know. I don't really do too many away games anymore, man. I don't really, go to people's channels like that. No disrespect to nobody, man, but I kind of stay in my own lane now. You know what I'm saying? Been doing this for a while. No more away games. It's very rare you're going to see me on somebody else's channel, right? No disrespect to nobody, but, like the guys that I already got a relationship with, the Sanjeets of the world, guys like that, Samoans, them guys, yeah, I'll go over there because those are my guys, right? Of course, Graf, you know what I'm saying? Shieldmore goes without question, but I don't really do too many away games anymore, guys. But guys, listen, do me a favor. Go hit that subscribe button. We will be rocking and rolling. Been bad. You will go to the gulags for the rest of this show. William Vinoy is in the place. Teacher's in the place. You guys have a great show. Great, night. I'm stammering and stuttering right now. Appreciate you. Yo, the members only show, it will be this week. I'm working on a dope guest for the members only show. I just don't want it to be just another regular wasted show. I want to get a dope guest. So, yo, guys, do me a favor, man. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, what guests you want to see on, and we're going to get on out of here. And guys, listen, just on the way out, I would love to unceremoniously block Anthony. Get the F up out of here, Anthony. The F up out of here. Thank you, Snyder. Appreciate you, bro. And listen, the wasted word of the day, too. My brother Halo was saying something to me, and I'm thinking, you know what? I haven't had that in a while. Conundrum, an intricate and difficult problem. Conundrum is the wasted word of the day. We have a conundrum here. We have people who are coming in the chat disrespected. Unbelievable, man. You get in the gulags, you watch your effing mouth, Anthony. But guys, we will be having a guest, members only show. Pull on up for that. If you guys hear the sound of my voice and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, man. We're going to get up out of here, man. We are going to get up out of here, man. Oh, yeah. And wait a minute. Yeah, Anthony's in a little conundrum right now in the gulags, being blocked for 300 seconds. The F up out of here, Anthony. But guys, once you know, what one of the lamest podcasters in the world has said, nah, let me not do that to Crack, man. But Joe, let me get up out of here with it. Let me get on up out of here, man. Y'all have a great night. We're gonna get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're gonna be sick and silly all week, man. I'll see y'all a little bit later, man. Peace.